There are moments in history when silence becomes the loudest sound, when prayers echo unanswered, and faith begins to tremble. Ever felt like you weren't strong enough, brave enough, or just plain enough for a big task? Meet Gideon, a man not of war, but of weary hands and frightened eyes. He threshed wheat in a winepress, hiding from his oppressors, hiding from himself. In those days, Israel hid in the shadows, groaned under Midian's hand. The Midianites ruled the land, cruel raiders who came like locusts, stealing grain, stripping fields bare, burning homes and hopes, leaving nothing but despair and hunger in their wake. Men hid in caves, women whispered their prayers underground, and faith, once strong, now whispered too, because even bread had become an act of war. When we first see him, he's not a mighty warrior. Sound familiar? An angel of the Lord appeared, seated beneath the oak at Ophrah, and spoke words that tore through the darkness. "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon froze. Mighty? He almost laughed. My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. It wasn't thunder that called him. It was a whisper that demanded courage. That night, Gideon prayed for a sign. Because sometimes faith begins with trembling. He's full of doubt, but God doesn't see Gideon's fear. He sees his potential. Gideon built an altar, a quiet monument to his fragile belief. But God's next command struck close to home. Tear down the idol of Baal, the one in your father's house. Gideon's father was the chief of the town at the time, and he has built a statue for Baal, which the people worshipped. Every great war begins within. Under the cloak of darkness, Gideon rose, 10 men by his side, their torches hidden, their hearts pounding. They tore down Baal's altar, cut down the Asherah pole. By morning, the town awoke to ashes. Who has done this thing? They wanted his life, but Joash, his father, stood before them. If Baal is truly a god, let him contend for himself. And Gideon, the fearful man, found courage standing beside him. But courage invites conflict. Across the valleys, the Midianites gathered, vast as the sea. It's the season of the year to plunder Israel and renew the oppression upon the land. And again, Gideon trembled. So Gideon requested for a sign from God. He laid out a fleece and said, "If you will save Israel by my hand, let the dew fall only here." And the following morning, God did as he requested. Again, Gideon laid out a fleece. He prayed to God, "If you will save Israel by my hand, let the dew fall outside of the fleece." Again, God did as he requested. And God met him in his doubt. 32,000 men stood with Gideon. But God whispered, "The people are too many." So Gideon, at God's instruction, announced that anyone who was fearful or trembling could leave. The scripture states that they were given the option to return home, and a total of 22,000 men chose to depart, leaving 10,000 to continue with Gideon. Fearful, honest, gone. 10,000 remained. Then came another test at the water. Those who knelt in comfort were dismissed. Those who drank while watching chosen. 300 remained. What in the world would a 300 soldiers do against the invading battalion of the Midianite? 300 hearts trembling but faithful. That night, God sent Gideon down to the enemy camp, not to fight, but to listen. In the darkness, 2 Midianites spoke. "I dreamed. A barley loaf rolled into our camp and overturned a tent," says a soldier. This is nothing but the sword of Gideon. God has delivered Midian into his hand, says another soldier. Gideon's breath caught. Fear melted into awe. He knelt there and worshipped. The trembling farmer had become a warrior. Under the cloak of midnight, Gideon divided his 300. Each man a torch, hidden within a clay jar. No swords, no shields, only obedience. They lay ambush in the forest closer to the camp of the Midianites. At Gideon's signal, they broke the jars. Fire burst into the dark light, flooding terror. Men shouting in unity, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. Trumpets blared. Shouts echoed. And in panic, the Midianites turned their blades on one another. In the madness of fear, God fought for Israel. When dawn broke, the valley was quiet again. 300 men. And a miracle. The battle that began in fear ended in faith. Victory is a strange gift. It can heal the humble or corrupt the proud. Gideon pursued the fleeing kings of Midian, Zebah, and Zalmunna. Gideon requested bread for his weary soldiers from the people of Sukkot and Peniel as he pursued the fleeing Midianite kings. Zebah and Zalmunna, the leaders of both towns, refused, questioning Gideon's ability to succeed before he had even captured the kings. Gideon warned them that he would punish them for their lack of support once he returned victorious. The outcome: he later returned and punished the people of Sukkot and Peniel for their refusal by destroying their towns and punishing their leaders. When he captured the kings, he stared into their eyes and saw the faces of his slain brothers. As they were, so am I now, and vengeance took its toll. Israel offered him a crown. He refused with words, "I will not rule over you. The Lord shall rule over you." Gideon grew old, and he had 70 sons born to him from his many wives. He also had another son named Abimelech, born to him by a concubine in Shechem, his story fading into song and memory. Israel had peace for 40 years, a fragile peace, born of miracles, sustained by mercy. But when Gideon died, the people forgot. They turned again to idols, to the gods he once destroyed. History repeats when hearts forget. Yet the story of Gideon still speaks, not of a perfect man, but of a faithful God, a God who meets the fearful and calls them brave, who sees strength where weakness hides and victory where defeat seems certain. Every generation faces its own Midian, every soul its own winepress, and still, even now, the whisper returns, "The Lord is with you." Mighty warrior, this is a powerful story about how faith can turn our greatest weaknesses into our biggest strengths. It's a reminder that even when we feel insignificant, we can be called to do incredible things. If this story resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.